All right, guys, you have not just one of us, but two of us today because we are doing an awesome video, Sacramento versus the Bay Area. And these are two great places, and maybe one of them is going to be your new home. So I want to introduce Rachel Capel. She is my friend from YouTube. We've actually never met in person, but I feel like I know her. And it's really one of the beauties of social media. There's so many negative things, but the beauty is I would have never met Rachel had it not been for YouTube and our mutual YouTube friends introducing us. So Rachel has a wonderful YouTube channel called San Francisco Bay Area Living, and you should definitely check it out. She's been doing this, one of the first people to start doing YouTube in the Bay Area, and I've definitely taken some notes from her. So welcome, Rachel.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be on. I'm excited. I know we've talked so much and we've kind of grown together. So I feel like really lucky to actually be on with you today.
Yes, the trials and tribulations of YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just kind of talk about our markets right now and what we're seeing in the market. Obviously, this video is spring of 2023. And Rachel, you go first. What's going on in the Bay Area?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people know that there's some crazy stuff happening in the Bay Area. It's definitely slowed down. We've got the technology area in San Jose, Silicon Valley, like getting hit pretty hard with the banking issue that happened over there. And there's a ripple effect to all of that, obviously. So, but good news, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not that great. So we're seeing, less inventory for sure. Houses, depending on your area and market. I mean, they're still selling for sure, but we just don't have a lot on the market. And prices are definitely down. So if you want stats, just reach out to us and I can definitely get you stats on the different areas. I'm in the East Bay area. But I do kind of know about San Francisco, Silicon Valley, just because I'm in the area. But yeah, it's definitely down and not that much on the market. So just based on supply and demand, you're going to have some competition. So I feel like everybody just really wants to be in the Bay Area, but you have to be able to afford it. So it's definitely not the best market, but it's not horrible either. So just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. And you're in Walnut Creek. So what's the median price there right now?
So median price, my goodness, I would say average is probably going to be, I mean, like if it was a year ago, it'd be like 1.8, but now it's around 1.4 to 1.5-ish. It's down about, the stats are around like 14%. So it's definitely a good time to buy. It's just there's not a lot of stuff on the market. So if you get into the different areas like San Francisco and San Jose, obviously those numbers are going to fluctuate, but particularly in Walnut Creek area, it's around 1.48 like to 5, depending on, how big it is and whatnot. So, but we can help you out with that. If you want to look in a particular area, I can get you stats and all that. But in a general sense, that's around where you're looking at if you're going to buy a single family residence, detached home.
Okay, so right now, I'll just say for Sacramento's market, it was slow at the end of 2022 going into this year. January was really slow. Then all of a sudden it was like a light switch went on and our market picked up. So we're February, March, April has been crazy. It's kind of like the summer again, except we have 45% less inventory than we did this time last year. So what that's creating is like the whole frenzy again, even though the interest rates are so high, so much higher, relatively speaking. And that surprised me quite a bit because in the end of 2022, people were sitting on the fence waiting for like what's going to happen. But now people have more confidence or just need a home. So yeah, it's definitely, you got to have all your ducks in a row if you want to buy right now and put your best foot forward. And then, just know that in the future rates will come down and you can refi. But you won't experience, it's not as competitive as the summer, but it's still competitive right now. So you're able to keep your contingencies in place, do your inspections. During the summer, it was not like that. It was like,
it's definitely more like I don't know if I'd have to check the stats if it's leaning into a seller or buyer's market. I think buyers have definitely more advantage right now. And it definitely has picked up here too, compared to like January. Yeah, January was pretty rough. But I think it's just because people are starting to realize, I mean, the rates are what they are, and they're not gonna be what they were 6 months to even, a year ago. I mean,
Right.
that's long gone. So 2.75 is
Yeah. I mean, basically it was free money that is probably not going to be seen in our lifetime again. So
right.
we're looking at hoping for more of a realistic interest rate around 5%.
Yeah, and
High.
and it's also another reason why you need an experienced agent, because you have to, take all that stuff into consideration when putting your offers together. Because I mean, here it is still pretty competitive just based on the fact that, there's not a lot of inventory. I mean, I heard a statistic recently where in the Tri-Valley area, San Ramon, Dublin, Pleasanton area, usually about 68 homes hit the market in each city. And in last month alone, I think it was like 67 hit the market in all 3 cities. So definitely supply and demand issues, but
You're fighting for the house still. And that's going to be an issue, I think, for years to come. Right now is the inventory issue, because in California, we're behind in our building in general, just because of all the rules and regs. And so now we're really feeling it. And then you give people a 2.5–3% interest rate. Well, why are they going to move? So we even created this problem even more so by lowering the interest rates like that, in my opinion. Should have never.
And I think, and I know it's funny because in my neighborhood, we were bike riding yesterday, and I was like, this massive ADU is being built in a backyard. And I was like, they're making it easier to build ADUs here because it is so expensive to build new builds. And the red tape is just super difficult from what I've heard. So I think that's going to be an issue too forever. And there's so many people that want to live here. Like, people always make fun of California, especially the Bay Area. But at the end of the day, for everyone that's leaving, there's people coming right back in. So
you're not going to have a shortage of people.
No.
So let's just talk about what life is like in general in the Bay Area compared to Sacramento, and what you're seeing, kind of pros and cons, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I've been California native here my whole life. I grew up in San Ramon, so I know very well what it's like to live in this area and why it's so great. I don't think I'd ever leave because my whole family and friend base is here. Unfortunately, there are a few friends that have left, but I mean, obviously we'll just bullet point the amazing things about it. The weather. I think people come here primarily for the weather. It's so beautiful in the Bay Area. Now I know San Francisco, people are going to freak out and be like, oh, the weather's horrible there. It's just foggier. So where I live, it's going to be warmer, right? It's going to be about maybe 7 to 10 degrees warmer always. But it's just beautiful. And like where you are, I'm sure it's really nice and warm there too. So the weather's awesome, minus San Francisco's fog. So many things to do. I mean, I have a kid, so like we're always at the parks, and we kind of like do this little thing where we go to the coolest parks, and it's like amazing. The parks are like, oh my gosh, we park hop.
You park hop.
Totally. I mean, it's just little things. When you have kids, you have to like get them out. So like the parks are amazing. Like they literally rival each other. So there's like, if you just Googled like top 10 parks anywhere in like Contra Costa, San Francisco, you'll see they're amazing. So then you've got food, the beaches, the sporting events, the farmers markets. I mean, all kinds of outdoor activities. You can spend a lot of money, or you could spend nothing, like going to the park, like what we do. There's a ton of festivals all the time going on, like everything you can imagine, robot, AI. So like, cultural festivals, and there's just a lot of opportunity here. I don't know. I think it's living in the Bay Area. You've got a melange of every kind of person that you can imagine. And if you look at those people, they're all probably, fierce competition as far as business and, working is concerned. So lots of opportunity to make money. And have an amazing career. I mean, you've got the mecca of technology down in the Silicon Valley. I mean, that's where literally the best of the best are. Which is why prices are so high, but there's just amazing things to do here. I can go on and on and on, but those are just a few of them. Plus the food. I like the food too.
Yeah. And I know I've been hearing like a lot of these companies are changing the rules about working remotely.
Mhm.
And people are concerned, oh, I'm going to have to sell my home. And are they going to change? Like I had a couple clients that could no longer move to Sacramento because they said that their job now has made a decision to no longer have people work remotely. So
Yep.
they are no longer coming here. I don't know. Are you still seeing a lot of people work remotely? And
Oh yeah. I mean, and there's I saw a recent stat too, like all the technology layoffs, like in January, February, you can go online and see how many people have been laid off. I mean, it's
right.
definitely hit the tech sector has definitely been hit hard. So again, that could be beneficial for people here in California. You're going to list your house, call us, because you never know if you can't work remotely. Those are things that you're going to have to figure out. And also, if you were part of that, those tech layoffs, because there's a significant amount. I think I heard like something in January, 84,000 tech employees got laid off. So it's subsided slowly, over the upcoming months. I think now we're in about my stat 37,000 got laid off in March. So I mean, there's definitely going to have there's going to be effect to that. So
Right.
if you are in that bunch, like you have to kind of like figure out what you're going to do and potentially consider a place like Sacramento where you don't have to pay $1.5 million for like an apartment in Silicon Valley, right? But yeah, it definitely affects the technology sector, the economy right now. So I'm not sure all the rules of like who's going,
Right.
to be able to work from home, but I know they're kind of cutting down on that since COVID has kind of come to a halt now.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that could definitely bring inventory to the market if people's life situations change. In fact, those are the people that really are making moves right now with the higher interest rates, are people that have to move because of marriage, divorce, they need
Yep.
having growing a larger family. So life happens, and doesn't matter what's going on with the market, people need to buy.
Yeah.
So.
And my recent listings, they've all been people that have had to sell for a specific reason. Like they're moving, they're getting a divorce, like that's, I think, the kind of people that are leaving and actually putting their house on the market.
So as far as Sacramento, if you're thinking about a move here, I think it's a great quality of life. I used to live in Los Angeles for 13 years, and I never thought I'd leave the big city. There was so much to do, but I always say this, my mom told me that every decade your priorities change.
Yeah.
And, in my 20s, I loved to go out to the hot spots, and I was working as a wardrobe stylist in the entertainment industry. So obviously LA was, the spot for that. But I just got so tired of that rat race. And I wanted to meet someone, like a quality person. I feel like it's a lot harder to do in a big city because everyone's there for they're looking for their next career move, and they're thinking about themselves and not really in family mode. So that was one reason. And another reason, I just want an overall better quality of life. Most people are never going to be able to afford a home in a bigger city like Los Angeles or San Francisco. So it can be so depressing to work your whole life and not be able to attain what we call the American dream. So here, our median price is 500,000. You can get, a nice house in a safe neighborhood for that. And, things go a little less as well. And they go up into the millions. Like what you can get for $1 million here is a really nice home. What I'm seeing is a lot of Bay Area people who are moving here. They're moving to Placer County, El Dorado County, closer to the foothills. They're moving to Folsom. You have really good schools there, newer homes. You can get a lot of bang for your buck. Toll Brothers just did a grand opening for, I don't know if you know, Toll Brothers are really nice new home builds, but you get all the bells and whistles for like a gated community for 1-2. We're talking over 3,000 square feet with views of the city, and just really nice. So it's like you live most of your life either at work or at home. Now we're working from home, and you don't have that much time unless you're in your 20s to really play in the city or in your area. So I kind of figured I'd rather have a nicer home and be able to have money to go travel around and for leisure, rather than kind of be in a rat race and just be a month to month, hard to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And so those are some things to consider. Life happens. See, this is a prime example of working from home.
He's so sweet. He got me a coffee.
But
Okay.
what, we have the homeless situation here. It's California, so we're dealing with the same thing. A lot of homeless. The city, after COVID, we have higher crime, more homeless. Hopefully our downtown will kind of get it together, as well as San Francisco downtown.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this all day,
Yeah.
right? On your side note, really quick, I wanted to mention, because the quality of life is actually really, really important to me as well. And I've been lucky enough to have a home for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
almost 20 years here in California. So I kind of lucked out. But like, yeah, I think a lot of people are moving to the Sacramento area because specifically for that quality of life. Like, there are some cons that you can go over, like maybe let's just talk about something like San Francisco. You wouldn't necessarily have the city that you would be able to go to very easily, but you have downtown Sacramento, which is great, right? But you also won't have to pay $200 to $500 for an electrician to come out just to change a light bulb or whatever they do, fix an outlet. Like, you will be able to save that like $300 and potentially go to, a vacation or spend something on your home. And like you talked about a $1.2 million house in a gated community. I'm telling you right now, that doesn't exist in California. Well, in the San Francisco Bay Area, I'm sorry. So back to quality of life, just living in the San Francisco Bay Area. We talked about the $1.2 million gated home community that you said that you have available. We don't have that here.
Yeah.
So you will get, the thing that really irks me about California, especially because I have a kid too, because I have lots of cons I could talk about, but with kids, schools, unless you're attached to a great zip code, you don't get the schools. Like, you get really bad schools. And I know I'm not supposed to have an opinion on schools as a realtor, so don't take my advice, but just Google it.
Schools.org.
There's a little clause in there for you.
Yeah.
Just Google it yourself, but you will pay like 1.5, like Walnut Creek, according to greatschools.com, has good scoring depending on what you value, and you're paying $1.5 million for like a fixer. I mean, you might get a pretty like updated home that way, but really for a beautiful turnkey home, you're definitely paying 1.5 and up. So, I mean, I toured one the other day. It was beautiful. And I think it was in that price range. I'd have to double check, but yeah. So just wanting to side note onto that, what you had said, the quality of life, I believe people are often leaving the Bay Area for Sacramento for that reason specifically.
And if you have someone who doesn't have a household with dual incomes too, it makes it so much harder. So especially for,
I think I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's almost impossible to buy a home. I have my son's at private school, and we have a teacher we're trying to work with to get her a place because she's wonderful, and her budget, I don't even know that something exists in a decent, we're not even talking great, decent area. I mean, it's sad. Like, her budget's like 300, maybe if she's lucky, 300 with the Dream for All, but the Dream for All funds are gone.
I know, only 2 weeks they lasted.
I know.
That's
why SAC is great.
Yeah. I think, our location is good too. Yes, we are not as close as the water as you are, but we're only a 2-hour commute. Or we can go to Napa, an hour away, or Tahoe, 2 hours. So we have a location where you can have a nice home, and you have all these world destinations that are just 1 to 2 hours away. So you really can't beat it. And I think our weather, some people hate the heat. I love it. And I really think unless if you have central AC, it's all good.
Okay, so let's talk about that though, because I think that people need to understand this. Like, I really do, because I have a friend that just moved to Arizona, and Sacramento, you guys are griping over a couple degrees. I mean, I personally would rather, and don't get me wrong, I love the Bay Area, and if you have money, call me, because you're going to need it if you want to buy a house here. It just is what it is. But like Sacramento, you're not talking like, what's the hottest degree that you get up there? And it's a drier heat. It's not.
We had a record breaker last year. It was 116.
Okay.
113, and that was like a day. But really, we have over 100 for about 2 weeks, and it's not high hundreds. It's like just low 100s for about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But
okay.
the biggest thing, you get a reward for those 2 weeks. You get beautiful summer nights, which is like
Yes.
80 degrees, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something because I've lived here my whole life. It's not uncommon for us, and definitely we have firestorms, all that fire stuff. I get it, but it's not uncommon for us to reach in the Bay Area where I live in the Walnut Creek area, 108. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not that much hotter if you
Right.
really think about it. 108, you're like hot, right?
So
Already. 100, it's not common. Like, so 100 is not common, but I would say 98 to 100, 103, we're going to get those days here. Like, so if you guys are on the fence about like where to live, I mean, if you really want that ocean, sure. On those days, go to the ocean, watch everyone and their mom in the Bay Area will be at the ocean
and it's
with
gonna be
you.
like a line, and like
Mhm.
once you park, you're gonna be like wanting to tear your hair out because it's just
Yeah.
the
If you can even
grind.
find parking.
Yeah. Yeah. So how relaxed are you going to be at the
Right.
ocean that day?
So I'm just going to keep it real because I feel like people need to know this stuff because that's not that much hotter than we are here, number one. Plus, you also can go up. I saw it on a YouTube, and you know how much I love Tahoe. Within an hour from Sacramento, you can go up to ski and the lake. Let's tack on another half an hour. You can go to the lake, Kings Beach, for free. Or Donner. Well, you can't go to Donner because that's like a private club. But like, at the end of the day, you're very accessible. So there are certain things that, yeah, you're missing out on. But honestly, if I was in a situation where I couldn't afford a house in California, I would 100% consider Sacramento.
Yeah. And I think, back in the day when I was young, Sacramento was like considered a cow town to the Bay Area, and we were always overshadowed by the Bay Area. But things have definitely changed like
Yep.
this last decade. And if it weren't for COVID, I feel like Sacramento would have really hit its peak, but we still have a lot of things going for it. We do have great restaurants. We have some Michelin star restaurants. We have the whole farm to fork movement. So all the food is really fresh. And we have a lot of great chefs. And we have like the Midtown area where there's more hustle and bustle, a lot of walkability factor. So when someone comes from the Bay Area, and if they're younger and they still kind of want to action, I would say the Midtown area. If you're in your 20s and still wanting to do the bars and go out and you have a great tech job and you're not looking for a home, then stay in the city. But when you want to really settle down, put some roots down, I think Sacramento is definitely a great investment because we still have growth here. And I always say for people who want to be entrepreneurs, it's a great town because there's room for opportunity. There's not like, say you want to own a donut shop. There's not 1,000 donut shops. And in fact, I'm still looking for a really good one. So there is room for your ideas and your business here, and we will get behind you and the city will support you. So you're not just like another business run of the mill. So a lot of opportunity for that. And I don't think big cities like, I say when I lived in LA, it was like, take a ticket. There's just always something, and it's really, your success rate is low.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I mean, having my own business here, I've had a business for 18 years. I was a photographer and now real estate. And it's like, it's super fierce and competitive in this area, in the Bay Area. I don't know how I was able to do it. As a photographer, I was in the top, like probably 20%, 10 of photographers, but now in real estate, I mean, it's fierce competition here. So you will get eat up and spit out, what I mean, very easily in the Bay Area. But if you can rise to the top and make it, past that, whatever, 50%, you can seriously succeed and reap the benefits. That's why I think Sacramento is great, because a lot of people are coming there and there's not a ton of competition, like there is, obviously you have a grade of, a caliber, but like, in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, I mean, it's fierce out here. It's no joke. It's not for the weak or faint of heart.
Yeah, you got to have your hustle.
Yeah, but the potential is exponential. That's why I'm a huge fan of Sacramento. I have friends that moved up there to the Rockland area, kind of up north, and they're thriving. They have a beautiful home with the swimming pool. And I mean, the heat, it's like we could, debate all day long on how to get over the heat. Just get a pool.
Exactly.
It'll cost you half the cost if you get it in Sacramento.
I'm just trying to
San Francisco.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other points that I should hit as far as, this is a big one. We have lots of things to do. If you are an active person, like nature, you know, you can be in downtown and then 40 minutes later, you could be up in El Dorado in the foothills. My husband's a big mountain biker, so he loves to just drive up to the foothills, and or you could be a hiker, biker, walker. You're into horses, so there's a lot of access for that. And we have two rivers, the Sacramento and the American. So we have a lot of water sports. We also have the Folsom Lake. So we're a big boating town, water skiing, whatever water sport you want, we have it.
Yeah, I mean, and I could boast about it too. Like I said, one of the things that I wanted to mention too, because I always like to give people the negatives and the positives. Like there are so many great things about San Francisco. I mean, we've got the sporting events, all that. If you're into sports, if you're into hiking, biking, you know, all the outdoor activity, we have them too. But also Sacramento's coming up too, because you were just mentioning the other day about the Warriors and Sacramento Kings, you know, so if you're avid sports fans coming up in Sacramento. Plus, I really want to tell you that Tahoe, coming from the SF Bay Area, you can get caught in traffic. It'll take you 4 hours to get there very easily. We're lucky. We go up 3. We have a place at Tahoe, so we go up. It's usually about 3, maybe 3.5. But from Sacramento, you're like an hour. And the lake, if you're a lake snob like me, like you can't get much better than Lake Tahoe. But I have floated the Sacramento River. Super fun.
Oh yeah.
Just don't drink and make sure you have floaties on if you're drinking.
So lots to do here, no longer just the cow town. The only thing for shopping, it sucks. Sacramento proper really has no shopping. You could go to Roseville, but I prefer to just go to the Bay Area where you have much more access to all the stuff.
And sometimes you just go online.
Yeah, true. So it really doesn't matter nowadays.
I mean,
you want the experience.
Yeah, if you want the experience, come on over, take a day trip, come bring your money over to San Francisco, but keep your money in Sacramento. But at the end of the day, there are so many great things about both areas. I mean, for me, I'm really frustrated with the taxes, the homelessness issue, the crime, the fact that, you know, my poor clients have to, you know, make $300,000+ to afford a nice zip code. It's frustrating, you know, so Sacramento is a great opportunity to like not have to deal with any of that, but then also you're not so far away that you can't come visit. I mean, if you have a lot of money, come call me, but just know that those are the things that you're going to look at. But Sacramento is a great place, you know, for someone looking to put roots down and raise a family and have a beautiful pool in their backyard.
I think that's a good way to sum it up, Rachel. I mean, whatever your needs are, if you have questions on the Bay Area or Sacramento, reach out to Rachel or I. We'd love to help you. We have a lot of people relocate, and you don't want to be in the hands of just any realtor because there's a lot of moving parts. People don't realize. They say they're pre-approved all the time before they come. And with the work scenario, there's a lot of intricacies that people get overlooked by many lenders. So we wouldn't want you to find the house, win the competition of 13 offers, and then, you don't have the proper financing because your lender didn't do their job right, which it happens all the time. So reach out to one of us if you are considering or just have any questions. We'll put a great game plan together, and all the links for Rachel are going to be down below, so you can reach out to her directly.
Yeah. And I think, you know, no matter what, I just want to leave this on the table. It is always a good time for you to buy a home or invest in a home, because renting in California is no bueno. We don't want you to rent. We don't want you to waste that money. So talk to one of us if you want to sell or buy. We can always give you a good roadmap to wherever you need to go. And thank you for having me on the channel. So fun always hanging out with you.
I know.